Beautiful souls, welcome to the Jones Life Stories, where we weave tales that ignite your spirit, challenge injustice, and remind you that your voice can change the world. Before we dive into this powerful story, let's spark a connection. Have you ever been judged unfairly or witnessed someone being treated as less just for being themselves? Drop your story in the comments below. Your experiences fuel our community. If you're inspired by stories that call out wrong and lift us up, smash that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for weekly doses of motivation and truth. Let's get into it. The plane sat at the gate, its engines humming softly as passengers shuffled aboard, stowing carry-ons and settling into their seats with thoughts of home, adventure, or new beginnings. Tasha Miles, a black woman in her late 30s, boarded with the quiet confidence of someone who'd spent years navigating spaces where she was often underestimated. Her sleek black handbag, embossed with a subtle luxury logo, rested on her lap as she took her seat in row 14, next to an elderly man already dozing by the window. Tasha was exhausted from a long workday, her mind on the emails awaiting her when she landed. She adjusted her seatbelt, letting her body sink into the cushion, unaware that this routine flight was about to become a battleground. What's your must-have travel essential to make a flight feel like home? A good book, a playlist, or maybe a trusty snack? Share it in the comments, and let's see how we all survive those long hauls. Without warning, a sharp voice sliced through the cabin's hum. "Get your hand off that." Tasha looked up to see a flight attendant, blonde hair pulled into a tight bun, uniform crisp as if starched by a machine, standing over her, eyes narrowed with accusation. Before Tasha could respond, the woman yanked the bag from her lap, clutching it like she'd just apprehended a thief. The cabin fell silent, not the calm kind, but the tense, heavy quiet where every passenger becomes a spectator, their eyes darting to row 14. Tasha's heart didn't race. She wasn't scared. She was bewildered, trying to piece together how her evening flight had turned into a public trial. "Excuse me," she said, her voice steady but firm. "That's my bag." The flight attendant scoffed, a short, mocking laugh escaping her lips. "Right. And I'm the Queen of England. Have you ever been singled out for no reason, made to feel like you didn't belong? How did it hit you?" Drop your story in the comments, because here at the Jones Life Stories, we believe sharing heals and empowers. Tasha blinked, processing the audacity. "I didn't touch anyone's things. That bag has my wallet, my ID, my everything." The woman spun the bag slowly, pointing to the luxury logo gleaming under the cabin lights. "Do you know how much this costs? This bag could cover 2 months of my rent. There's no way it's yours." Tasha's eyes narrowed, but her voice stayed calm, cutting through the tension. "And why is that?" "Because I'm black." The flight attendant's brow shot up, her lips curling into a defensive smirk. "Oh, don't make it about that. I'm just saying it doesn't add up." She turned to the elderly man by the window, who was stirring awake, his eyes bleary with sleep. "Sir, don't worry," she said, her tone suddenly syrupy sweet. "I stopped her just in time. She was trying to steal your bag, but you're safe now." Have you ever seen someone twist a situation to play the hero at someone else's expense? How would you handle being falsely accused in front of a crowd? Share your thoughts below, and let's inspire each other to stand up for truth. Tasha's jaw tightened as the flight attendant painted her as a thief before a cabin full of strangers. The elderly man blinked, looking at Tasha, then at the bag, then back again. "What's going on?" he asked, his voice soft but curious. "This woman," the attendant said, hoisting the bag higher for all to see, "tried to steal your bag while you were asleep. But I caught her." The old man leaned forward, adjusting his glasses. He studied Tasha, who sat still, her posture calm but her eyes sharp, then looked at the bag dangling in the attendant's grip. "No," he said, his voice steady now. "That's not my bag. Mine's in the overhead." Gasps rippled through the cabin, one passenger letting out a soft wow. Tasha raised her eyebrows. "Now, can I have my bag back?" Have you ever had someone stand up for you when it would have been easier to stay silent? What did it mean to you? Drop your moment in the comments, and let's celebrate those who choose justice over convenience. But the flight attendant didn't budge, gripping the bag tighter, her face twisting with disbelief. "This doesn't make sense," she muttered, almost to herself. You're telling me this is yours? Tasha nodded, her patience thinning but her tone unwavering. Yes, I've told you that from the start. Open it. There's a wallet inside with my ID. The woman hesitated, her fingers hovering near the zipper like it might burn her. Have you ever had to prove something that was rightfully yours just because someone refused to believe you? How did you keep your cool? Share your experience below, and let's lift each other up with stories of resilience. Finally, she unzipped the bag, her hand brushing past lip balm, headphones, a passport holder, and pulling out a leather wallet. She flipped it open, revealing a government ID. Tasha Miles, clear photo, current date, matching face. The cabin felt like a courtroom, every passenger holding their breath for the verdict. Tasha reached out. "We done here." The flight attendant wasn't ready to let go. "This proves nothing," she snapped. "You could have planted that wallet." Tasha's jaw clenched. "Planted it? You've got to be kidding me." The woman leaned in, her voice dripping with accusation. "I've seen tricks like this before. Your type always has an angle. Have you ever heard words so bold, so offensive, you couldn't believe they came out of someone's mouth? How did you respond? Drop your reaction below, and let's talk about staying strong when the world tests us." The elderly man spoke up again, his voice firm. "Miss, she's told you. She's shown you. You owe her an apology." The attendant waved him off. "Sir, please. I've been working these flights for 15 years. I can smell a scam." "You're wrong," he said simply. Tasha leaned forward. "If you think I'm scamming, call someone. Security, another attendant, whatever it takes. I'm not letting you drag me through this to protect your pride." The woman's eyes flashed. "Oh, I will." She turned and called sharply, "Mark, can you come here?" A younger male flight attendant approached, his face neutral but his eyes scanning the tense scene. "Everything okay here?" he asked. "No," the woman said before anyone else could. "This passenger was caught trying to steal a bag from this elderly man. I intervened, but she's claiming it's hers." Mark looked at the old man. "That's not true," the man said firmly. "She didn't take anything. That's her bag. My belongings are overhead." Mark nodded, then turned to Tasha. "Ma'am." "That's my bag," Tasha said clearly. "My ID's inside." She checked it and still refuses to give it back. Mark raised a brow at the senior attendant. "You saw her ID." She hesitated. "It could have been planted." Mark frowned. "Planted?" He sighed, visibly uncomfortable. "We don't judge ownership by looks or income. You asked for ID, it matched. That should have ended it. Have you ever seen someone cling to a lie because they couldn't admit they were wrong? What would you do in their shoes? Share your thoughts below, and let's keep the conversation going on the Jones life stories." The woman wasn't done. "Well, since we're opening things," she said sharply, "let's see what else is in here." Ignoring Tasha's warning, "Do not go through my things." She dug deeper, pulling out an iPhone 16 Pro Max figures, she muttered. Then, her hand emerged holding a sleek, red and silver key with a Ferrari logo gleaming under the cabin lights. She froze, then sneered. "Oh, please. You want me to believe you own a Ferrari?" Tasha's voice turned to steel. "Give me my bag." The attendant's voice grew louder. "Come on, let's be honest. She's probably a 9-to-5 worker, max. No way she's driving anything with a horse on the hood. Have you ever watched someone try to humiliate another just to protect their ego? Would you have stood up or let them dig their own grave? Drop your reaction below, and let's inspire each other to stand firm." The elderly man spoke again. "I think you've said enough. You're insulting her and everyone else's intelligence." But the attendant ignored him, turning to Mark. "She planted everything. This is a setup. She knows how to look rich. That doesn't make her innocent." Tasha stood, calm but commanding. "You've gone too far. You've insulted me, harassed me, searched my things without consent, and refused to back down even when the facts slapped you in the face." The woman scoffed. "You think you're intimidating me?" "No," Tasha said, her voice piercing. "I think you're afraid of being wrong. That hit something, didn't it? Have you ever called out someone's fear of admitting they were wrong? How did it feel? Share your story below, and let's keep shining a light on truth." The attendant's eyes narrowed. "Fine," she said coldly, grabbing the intercom phone. "Let's call airport security. Let them deal with you. Passengers stared, some filming, others whispering. The old man shook his head in disbelief. Tasha didn't flinch. She knew what was coming next would shift everything. 2 officers boarded moments later, one scanning the row, the other reviewing a tablet. The attendant stood tall, pointing at Tasha. There. She tried to steal from this man. I've secured the bag. She's lying about everything. The taller officer paused, his eyes locking on Tasha. Wait a minute. Mrs. Miles, is that you? The cabin went still. The attendant blinked, confused. You know her. The second officer looked up, his voice carrying. Who doesn't know Mrs. Miles in this airline? She's the chief service officer, overseeing all customer service across every route. The attendant's mouth fell open. But I didn't know. Tasha's voice cut through like a blade. But you assumed, based on my skin and my bag's cost. You didn't ask. You didn't investigate. You humiliated me, even after I showed you ID. You searched my bag, called me a thief, and summoned the police like I was a threat. You saw me, but you didn't see me. And now you'll face consequences. Have you ever been treated as less just because someone felt more? Would you press charges if your dignity was violated that deeply? Drop your answer below, and let's talk about justice on the Jones life stories. The attendant stammered, words failing her. Tasha turned to the officers. Yes, I'm pressing charges. The taller officer nodded. Understood, ma'am. In front of the passengers, crew, and recording phones, they cuffed the attendant, the snap of the restraints echoing louder than her accusations. No, wait, you can't, she sputtered, but no one defended her. Mark stepped aside, silent. The old man watched, shaking his head. The lead officer began walking her out, while the other stayed with Tasha. We're sorry you had to deal with this, Mrs. Miles. We'll file a full report. Thank you, she replied. But I'll be filing my own as well. Have you ever seen justice come full circle? What message should this send to those who think their bias is law? Share your thoughts below. The cabin was silent as the officers disappeared down the jet bridge with the attendant. No one clapped or cheered. The mood was reverent, like everyone knew they'd witnessed something deeper than drama. Tasha took a deep breath and turned to the elderly man. Thank you for standing up when it would have been easier to stay quiet. He gave a small smile. It was the right thing to do. I just said what anyone decent should have said. Then she turned to Mark. And thank you for not staying neutral. That matters. Mark looked humbled. I just wanted to do the right thing, ma'am. Tasha nodded, then stepped into the aisle, her voice carrying without needing to be loud. I want to say something to all of you. What happened here wasn't just about a bag. It was about perception, judgment, and power. It would have been easy to let this slide, but what we let slide today becomes someone else's nightmare tomorrow. We're all responsible, not just for what we do, but for what we let happen in front of us. Have you ever witnessed something wrong but hesitated to speak up? What held you back or pushed you forward? Drop your thoughts below, and let's keep this conversation alive. Passengers nodded quietly, some with eyes reflecting their own stories of injustice. Tasha continued. Standing up doesn't require a title, a uniform, or a badge. It takes a choice. She turned to Mark. I meant what I said. You handled yourself with integrity. I'll be recommending you for promotion to head flight attendant. Mark's eyes widened. Seriously, she said, smiling. This airline needs more like you. Then she faced the elderly man. And you're not walking away empty-handed. I'll personally ensure you receive 2 first-class tickets. Any destination, anytime. He chuckled softly. That's not necessary, dear. I didn't do it for a reward. I know, Tasha said warmly. That's why you deserve it. Have you ever been rewarded for doing the right thing? Or seen someone else honored for their courage? Share your story below, and let's celebrate integrity together. Tasha looked toward the front of the cabin. I'll be speaking with upper management when we land. This isn't just about me. It's about what could happen to anyone. Black, white, rich, poor. This kind of profiling and abuse of power ends now. The plane lifted off, Tasha sitting back, hands folded, carrying not just her bag but a promise to drive change. Have you ever been the victim or witness of discrimination in a place meant to be safe? What should airlines, schools, or companies do to make it right? Drop your thoughts below, and let's push for a world where everyone is seen for who they are. As the flight soared into the night, passengers began to share their own stories in hushed tones. A young woman across the aisle leaned over, telling Tasha about a time she was profiled at a store. A man a few rows back admitted he'd stayed silent once during a similar incident and regretted it. The cabin wasn't just a group of strangers anymore, it was a community, bound by a moment that reminded them of their shared humanity. Tasha listened, nodding, her presence a quiet anchor. When the plane landed, she stepped off not as a victim, but as a force for accountability. The airline issued a public apology the next day, and Tasha's report led to new training programs on bias and customer respect. The elderly man used his tickets to visit his grandchildren, and Mark, now a head flight attendant, became known for his fairness on every flight. What's a change you've seen or made in your community that started with one person's courage? Share it below, and let's keep inspiring each other to rise above. If you believe in accountability, fairness, and standing up when it matters, hit that like button, share this video, and subscribe to the Jones Life Stories for stories that fight back against injustice and celebrate resilience. Have you ever stood up for someone or wished you had? Drop your moment in the comments, and let's build a community that lifts each other up. Until next time, keep shining, keep fighting, and keep telling your story, because at the Jones Life Stories, we believe every voice can spark a revolution.